Hey guys, I have a video here about a pretty important subject, at least in my opinion. It's called ideas or seeds. It's a subject that I have thought about for many years, but didn't really put it together into an infographic like right now. And I hope you guys find it helpful. So, this subject is really about ideas which start in the present moment. And this moment, as you sit here, you're having thoughts, and these thoughts usually have a focus. You're thinking about something in particular that lead to an idea that, usually you have a conclusion, of because of this focus, you'll have this conclusion, you'll have an idea, good or bad, or creative, whatever. And essentially that idea, what it is it's a seed. This idea is a seed. Why is it a seed? Because each idea in of itself contains the roots of something which get planted into your subconscious mind, which, if you remember from your from some of the other exercises we've done, your subconscious mind is about 90% of what you are, and you're not conscious of it, which is why it's called the subconscious mind. 10% is only your conscious mind, and this subconscious mind is actually the soil in which these ideas are planted, these seeds are planted, and they lead to having roots. These ideas take roots because you don't even realize it, but you get an idea, and next thing you're thinking about it. It changes the way you look at the world, and how you see that plant as you start manifesting. Manifesting meaning, I'll give you an example. I bought a Toyota 4Runner, and I bought this 4Runner recently. I was into these cars for a while, but I recently just bought it, and now guess what I see every time I drive on the road? I see a freaking 4Runner. That's just what I like to think. It's part of your actual reticular activation system, right? So when you think about like an idea, it like comes to you, and I looked at it, and now the world will show me more of that, and that's actually through your RAS, and this is proven in neuroscience, and it's called your reticular activation system. It's proven through your neurosciences, right? What it is it actually shows you more of what you want to see. It's a survival mechanism that we have evolved through the ages, that human beings actually became very, very powerful at looking out for the things that they were interested in. Imagine if you were afraid of snakes, then you're thinking about snakes, so you can see snakes everywhere so that you don't get bit. So in my case, it was a Toyota 4Runner, and this is my 4Runner. It's kind of sad. And now I see it everywhere because this was an idea that I had in my mind, and now this whole thing is manifested everywhere I go. I see a freaking 4Runner. I say, I've never seen this many 4Runners in my life. So this idea is a baby plant, and what it does is it takes roots. Now at this point, it's actually fragile, right? Because it's still small, it's tiny, it's building that momentum, and if you let something else get on it, it'll break it very easily. All these forces are coming at it as well. And there's this negative forces coming at it, positive forces are coming out of it, right? It wants to grow, but you have to protect it. This is a key component of this stage, is you have to protect the momentum of the tree. And what will happen over time, and this is the beautiful thing about this, guys, if you realize that if you protect your plant, it will inevitably turn into a tree with time. Time is your best friend, and it turns into this massive tree. And it's crazy because once that idea takes hold, these roots become your belief, right? These are the roots, and they become the beliefs, which drive up your habits, right? And this idea, it all started out as an idea. It was all an idea, and it now has turned into a belief because the roots have taken hold. Now, this could be positive or negative, right? It could be a good thing or a bad thing, but you have a belief. You might be cynical, so you have habit of not trying, right? That could be a belief, right? Cynicism, right? Cynicism is a belief. And then what happens to people who are cynical? They don't try, right? Not trying. And then that leads to what? Your personality changes as you start to believe somebody that I am a loser, right? You start behaving like a loser because you have the habit of not trying. So the results are what? You lose. You lose. That's your results, right? Now, on the other hand, you could have a belief that honestly, just keep it simple. You're a winner. I cannot lose. What if one of my teachers told me, Zane, how would you behave? And I'll tell you this, right? This is a belief that I have. How would I behave if I could not lose? Would you be more optimistic about life, right? Would you have this belief that you're a winner now? And by the way, the way that I like putting it is, how would I behave if God blessed me? If God had already blessed me, how would I behave, right? So that's one of my beliefs. And you go to that and what happens? I try very hard, try hard, or, focus. They're all different variations of the same theme. And what happens? Your personality becomes of somebody who is diligent. You become a diligent individual. And then guess what? The results become what? Excellence. Now, excellence is a result that is a manifestation of a personality that, when you do things diligently over time, you become excellent. Diligent has two L's. That's kind of what happens. But the fruit, the reward of that excellent is the fruit, right? And the reward of, let's say cynicism is losing, but in reality, what does that look like? That looks like, low money, low opportunity, right? I don't know what other, like, self-disgust, right? You're sad, apathy, right? That's really the fruits of the tree, right? You may not have an impact, whereas the reward of optimism in this case, optimism, right? If you have this reward of optimism versus cynicism, the rewards are, generally people who are wealthy are optimistic, and there's more opportunity that comes their way, right? And, they care a lot. They care about everybody. So that's the fruit. That's the fruit that you reap. The Bible says the tree shall be known by the fruit that it produces, right? This is a big deal, guys. It's a huge deal. And if you understand that all of this comes down to the fruit that you reap is the one that actually you consume and that nourishes you. Nourishes the fruit that you get from your ideas from the tree. It'll nourish you in this present moment. So the question is, what is nourishing you right now? Is it cynicism or optimism? Was the one that you actually produced with your thoughts. You produced that fruit that is nourishing you. So if you don't like the fruit that you're getting right now, right? If you're not happy with this, then you need to consider what you've been thinking about, right? In this present moment, what are you thinking about? What is your focus? And, I want you to, guys, to really think about the fact that all of this comes down to really one conclusion, right? If your thoughts produce the ideas that become the seed for your subconscious mind to grow plants into, right? To grow plants into, which gain momentum and take roots and become your beliefs, habits, personality, and results, which produce the fruit, which is ultimately what you feast on, what you eat, right? Which nourishes you. Then you have to realize that this is all really in your control. That this isn't something that, you have bad luck. The whole premise of this video is, what seeds do I want to plant in my reality? What seeds do you want to plant in your reality? What are you thinking about? And you have to understand, guys, that thoughts come from influence. Like right now, you're watching this video. You're allowing positive influence to get into your life, hopefully, right? And influence comes from environment. If I can write this right, environment. You got to be very careful what kind of environment you allow, because that will influence your thoughts. You guys, some people think, oh, I'm not influenceable. Dude, you have to realize the first step is just admitting that I am not an island, that what I put around me is going to make a huge difference. And, guys, I'll tell you one other thing. Environment, to a great degree, it's not in, where you're born. That's not up to you. But you know what? You can still decide the people that you want to have in your life, right? You can decide to a great degree what kind of influences you would watch, right? You have to make a decision on, and the guys, this is like trivial things, right? Whether I'm going to have social media, I'm going to follow accounts that are detrimental to me, right? Some of you guys are looking at things that are probably not the best for your spirit. It makes you feel guilty and weird afterwards. Or you're watching, Netflix or TV shows that are honestly just designed to make you dumber. Netflix, I'll just say all TV shows really in general have just a very demoralizing effect. And there's like subliminal messages. You don't have to be very smart. It's just not good. It's not designed to make you win. Books, right? Am I going to read books at all? And if I am, what kind of books will I engage in? The company, the people that you keep, right? The company / people you allow in your life, the thoughts, which we talked about, the thoughts that you entertain, right? Because all of that will lead to thoughts ultimately. So, I mean, a lot of this, guys, is in your control. You have to make a decision here. You have to make a decision on what you think about. And if you do that, you'll be able to control this cycle. The idea is that you want to have influence over your own thoughts. And if you can do that, you can control this process, and it can actually become very, very powerful for you rather than against you. So this is a huge thing, guys. If you can become optimistic and you become very intentional about the thoughts that you put in your environment and your mind, and you take root, it's a big deal. So I hope it helps. Thank you so much.